How old were you when you went into the service?
I was 18.
And were you drafted or did you
No, I
enlist?
was drafted.
When you were drafted at 18, how did you feel it? Were you expecting it even?
Oh, I was ready to go. I was kind of foolish, just a young guy, and well, I just ready to go.
Where did you live at the time?
I lived in Miller, right here.
So you haven't left your home.
Yes, I have. Well, in the service, and then I worked in Wyoming and Montana. I kind of took Route 90, and wherever there was something to work, I worked. If I didn't work, I get enough money so I could eat. My buddy and I did that. We took Route 99, Route 66.
Tell me about from the time you were drafted into the time you were sent overseas. How long was that process? And tell me about your rank in the service.
I was a corporal, and then I requested that I wanted to be back to a PFC because they wanted to give me some men. Now, this is overseas. They wanted to give me some men, and I said, no. I said, I'd rather just take care of myself. But then that goes on a little further later on.
And why did you want that? Why didn't you want to be a corporal?
Well, I had charge of about 6 men, and I couldn't see where I could see them die. I just couldn't do it.
And where were you when you were sent over?
Well, I was in Italy, but see, I was drafted and went to Camp Camel, Kentucky, and there I had taken my basic training, and I took reconnaissance training and combat training, which was very good for me when I went overseas.
You felt prepared then.
Yes, I did.
Hey, how about for those around you, the soldiers you were serving with? Um, did they feel as prepared as you did, or was there a lot of
Oh, they were good men. They were very good men. You bet. I still ended up in charge of 6 men when I was over there because my sergeant, he says, Cluthy, whether you like it or not, you're going to have 6 men.
did they all survive?
Yes, my 6 men did. Yes, they did. And we had some hellish assignments.
Tell me about some of those assignments.
Well, okay, I'll tell you, we went on a combat patrol, and this was in Italy. And when we come back, why, we got back in our foxholes, and the next thing I knew, a runner came and wanted to know where Cluthy was. I says, oh my God, am I going on another one? They said, no, but who do you know? I said, I don't know anybody. Well, he says, you've got to know somebody because you're going back to battalion headquarters. You're going to be a mail clerk. I am? But I went back there, and here was Major Jorgensen, and he says, we got to keep these South Dakota boys together. Oh, I could have kissed him.
Who's Major Jorgensen then? Is he a South
Well, he
Dakotan?
was from De Smet, but he was the battalion commander, I think. He did get up to Colonel Jorgensen, I think. But anyway, he'd seen my name, and I was from Miller, South Dakota, and he says, we're going to keep us South Dakota boys together.
Do you think that maybe saved your life not having to be?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I had a little grandson. He wasn't born yet, but he said, Grandpa, he was just a little boy. He says, when you were overseas, I was in heaven. And he says, when those bullets come to you, I made them go a different way. And I honestly believe that. Really. But he's 21 years old now, or 22. But he says, Grandpa, I made those bullets go another way. But to this day, I believe him. He says, I was in heaven, but I wasn't born yet. Just a little kid.
So how many years did you spend over there then?
It was just, well, let's see. I went over in October of 1942, and I come back in either August or September of 43. So it pretty much a year.
Do you have some powerful stories you want to share about your experience over there?
Well, yes, I have one that uh, we was on a detail to pick up bodies. Okay, when we got to this one place where we found this body, and it was a German minefield, and these guys went in there, and one of them set off a mine, and I said, "Don't move." I said, "Just stay where you are, and I'll come and get you." So I crawled inch by inch, and I had a little training in engineering in my combat deal, and I thought I knew what I was doing. But anyway, I got to him, and we had to take this body out. So we got the body and a mattress cover, and we pulled him back, and I said, "You follow me." And we went back inch by inch. We crawled on our stomach, and we did get back to our Jeep, and we got him out of here. And in that, I had gotten the Bronze Star for it. It's the third highest medal that you can receive. But it took hours to get out of there because we never knew when we was going to hit another mine. But we were on that detail, and we usually another thing that we did, we had to crawl up to another line to get another body because he was in a foxhole where they were fighting, and we had to keep down low because the Germans was about 20 yards on the other side. But we got him out, but he'd been there a while, and I hate to tell you this, we pulled him apart, but we put him in a mattress cover. And that was the worst thing that has ever happened to us. But I had two good men that you couldn't believe how good they were. But anyway, otherwise you could just go out and pick them up, and then there's times we picked up an arm here and a leg there. And
How important was that to recover the bodies?
well, what I thought about, are you married? Do you have kids? And I know that you're dead, but they don't know you're dead yet. That was terrible. Other than that, I have four battle stars, which was the Alpine Mountains, Anzio. I can't remember. I just had a stroke, and I'm just getting over it.
Oh, I'm sorry to
And
hear that.
Riva Ridge and Po Valley. But we, the Po Valley, the Germans were running so fast we couldn't even keep up with them.
Tell me about your home life when you left. Were you married? Did you have
No,
kids
no, I
already?
wasn't
No?
married. No, my mother, she, I'm a very practicing Catholic, and she, I think she prayed every day, even before I left. She didn't want me to go. In fact, we had a farm, and the guy who was on the draft board told Mom, she said, "You put him on the farm, we'll let him home." And I said, "No way, I'm going to go with my friends." Of course, my mother was ready to do that, but I said, "No, Mom, I'm going to go." Yeah.
Why was it important for you to go?
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to go. I thought it would be a great thing, but after I got over there, it wasn't so great.
Hmm. Were you scared then?
Oh, I was scared to death. I was so scared I wasn't even scared anymore. When you see these, see, I was with G Company, which is a heavy weapons company, which is a machine gun company. Well, this buddy of mine who was with me on the machine guns, well, we were pinned down, and we had to get out of there. But we went to this one foxhole, and as we were in there, the first sergeant come and kicked us out. He said, "This is my hole." Well, he wasn't a first sergeant anymore after that. I couldn't even tell you his name because I don't remember it. And as far as now here is something that isn't so gory. We just came back from a movie, and there was a couple of guys behind us, and he says, "Well, I was a busboy over at the Alex Johnson Hotel in Rapid City. I looked back, and here was old Don Hammerquist, and I was a bellhop there, and here was Don. And I stopped him. I said, Don, what are you doing here? He says, I'm wondering the same thing about you. But and then I met him right in the middle of a field one time that we were going. Oh, it was so hot that day, and here he was standing, and I said, Don, you better get down. But if you want to hear another story, which was my friend Jim Kelly, typical Irishman. My buddy and I, we took him downtown, down to a place which was unlimited to soldiers. But we went anyway. And as we were sitting there, I says, oh my God, here comes the MPs. Old Jim, he goes backwards, and there's a store, there was a door, and he thought it was a basement. Well, there was no stairs. He fell there. Well, anyway, we got Jim up. We decided it's about time to go to camp now. But there wasn't any MPs. I was just kidding him.
So
But
tell me
old,
about your life when you came back to South Dakota, when you came back to Miller. How was life? How was adjusting? Was it pretty
well,
easy?
it was hard to adjust, but there were five of us guys that I think probably we may have thought that somebody owed us a living. And however, we we decided that nobody owed us a living. But it was just uh, one of those things, and we run around together, and the people in town were wondering if those guys are ever going to go to work. Well, we did finally.
How long did it take?
Oh, it took about 2 3 months, and we was okay. It was kind of hard to get adjusted again to life, because you'd hear if you heard a shot or you hear a car that was bombed, you almost hit the dirt right away because you didn't know what it was. I mean, your mind just wouldn't go.
I bet your mom was happy to see you.
Oh, my mother, she's a wonderful person. Yes, she was.
Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Well, I was with the 10th Mountain Division, which is over there now, and I was in G Company, and they were called the Ski Troopers at the time. And let's see if I had anything here. Oh, what was sad is when we got off the boat in Naples, those poor kids, they had nothing to eat. And they says, watch your pockets. And when we did go into a line to eat dinner, breakfast, or whatever it was, we would always save some meals for them and put it on there. They would stand there with their plates. They'd take it out of the garbage can. And that's about all I think I know. Oh, Easter Sunday, I got to tell you that one. Okay, we were at this was uh, I think it was at Riva Ridge. But anyway, the first sergeant, he says, I'm going to church. There was a church right over the hill. And he says, any of you guys want to go with me, that's fine. So what we did, he started running, and I ran behind him, and there was, oh my God, I don't know how big the line was. And bing, 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 we was having some shots at us. But anyway, we all made it over the hill and into church. And we went to church on Easter Sunday. But anyway, I think that's about all I really got to say. But anyway, the minefield, that's what really scares me.